Honor. We're going to talk about honor today, dudes. And this is super, super important when it comes to finding shit hit the fan groups, prepper groups, survivalist groups. But I would argue that this is just important, period. It's important for all of us to conduct ourselves with honor. Honor is literally part of the 20% that's going to produce 80% of the results for you in your life. And definitely in shit hit the fan. So what is honor exactly? Honor is honesty, fairness, and integrity in the way you speak and the way you conduct yourself. That's what honor is. I'm going to share a story with you guys about a couple of friends of mine back when I was a young man. A story of failure that made me realize I was not an honorable person and that I needed to make changes. I was probably 18, 19 years old, and I had a friend of mine, these two friends of mine. I don't really want to name them, but we're going to call friend A over here and friend B. Now, friend B was a Marine and was about 6 years older than me. He'd joined the Marine Corps and gotten out. And, I really looked up to him. I thought he was someone with honor and integrity. And, he was like my big brother, even though we weren't related. So that's B over here, okay? Now, A was my other buddy, and he joined the Marine Corps right out of high school and was gone for like maybe a year and then got put out on medical because he got hurt. Well, he called me when he got put out and told me what happened to him and how he got injured and asked me not to tell anybody. Well, what did I do? I went and told Mr. B over here. Okay. Well, so A comes home, and I hadn't seen him in a while. I was glad to see him. Glad to hang out. We weren't the very best of friends, but we were friends through high school. Pretty close. I guess we were pretty close friends. And one day he tells me a different story, completely different story about how he got hurt. And he told me, "Oh yeah, I told you the first one because I was kind of embarrassed and whatever and da 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 da." So this is the real story. Well, what did I do? I ran over to B and told B, "Oh yeah, he's changing his story now." Da 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 da. Okay, because I didn't have any integrity. I was talking shit. I was being a little gossiping bitch behind my buddy's back. And what kind of respect would B have had for me doing that? You know what I'm saying? Well, I expected B to do with all the integrity over here to keep these things to himself, but he didn't, of course. He told all of our other friends what I had said, and it got back to Mr. A. And Mr. A came to me, and he's like, "I told you the second story just to see if you were the one that was telling people my business." And I was like, "Oh, damn. Yep, it was me. I did it." It hurt. It hurt. I had to face the truth, the reality that I was not to be trusted with information. He couldn't trust me anymore. And needless to say, it affected all three of our relationships. Well, I changed things. I turned everything around. I went and looked for men in my life that I believed had honor, and I used them as models, and I copied what they did. And I turned it completely around. And what happened to me was that I began to spend my time with people that had honor. I attracted the same. People with integrity. People that say what they mean. People that follow through. People that tell you they're going to show up at 5 p.m. and they're there at 4:55. Okay? Because, dudes, birds of a feather flock together. That saying is so, so, so true. And what I also realized was that all of those old friends of mine, none of them had honor. Not even Mr. A. None of them had integrity. None of them were fair. None of them were honest. And I'm not friends with them anymore. I thank them for the lesson. I thank them for the lesson because it made me a better person. And it made me a lot of who I am today. So when it comes to shit hit the fan groups, how you conduct yourself during SHTF and even how you conduct yourself today, it is imperative that you conduct yourself with honor. Guys, I grew up in a big city. And I will say that there are not many people in big cities that are going to say what they mean, that are really, truly honest people that have integrity. There's not that many. In the country, it's different. You tend to find it a lot easier. And that's one of the reasons I love living in the country and have not had difficulty finding good people and making good friends out in the country. The people that I consider as close to me now, the people that I trust the most, are all people of honor. And I'm not just talking about men. I'm not just talking about men. Women, if you're watching this video, you need to pay attention too, because in this day and age, it is very acceptable for women to gossip and talk shit about each other behind each other's backs. And I'm sorry, but it is not okay. Gossiping has always been a bad thing. Always. And now it's acceptable all of a sudden, so y'all are going to do it? Hell no. If you end up in a shit hit the fan group, you better have every bit of honor that the men in your group are expected to have. Every single bit. You better say what you mean. You better conduct yourself with fairness, integrity, and honesty. And another thing I've experienced is a lot of women out there expect me to conduct myself with honor, but they have no intentions of doing so themselves. I hate to break it to you, but there is no double standard. There's no double standard. All right? And you're going to get what you give. So seriously, people, seriously, and I'm telling you this, some of you are going to hit the dislike button, the little down thumb on my freaking video because you don't like how I'm talking about it. But it's the truth. If you have a hard time finding good people to be around, you probably need to make some changes. Because take my word for it, when you do, when you become someone that conducts themselves with honor all the time, those people fall in your lap. They fall in your lap, man. I have tons and tons of friends all over the place, people I've met in all kinds of states that I trust and that trust me and that know that we're good people and I know they're good people. Okay? I think that's about it. This one doesn't need to be long. It's to the point, dudes. You know? You have to have honor. People need to know they can depend on you. And you want to depend on them, right? Well, honor is what it takes to get there. You know, you can't. That's the other thing. I did a video about trust. Do you know how hard it is to trust somebody that has no honor? I mean, honor is the bottom line, man. If people conduct themselves with honor, it's easy to trust them. You know? And so if you want people to trust you too, you have to conduct yourself with honor. I'm going to end it right there. I'll probably get into maybe some more of these about, what I think is important for all of us to keep in mind with the way we conduct ourselves. To be part of a successful SHTF group. Because hard times are coming, man. They are freaking coming. And the last thing you want to do is find yourself in a shitty group of friends like I grew up with. So the last thing you want to do is find yourself there, right? Okay. All right, dudes. Like, share, subscribe it. Comments, please. It helps the algorithm. Not to mention, there's a lot of shit we can talk about in here. And guys, I do my best to read every comment, and if there's anything I can think of saying that's not like super negative, I try and put something down there. All right. And I appreciate y'all. Thanks for sticking with the channel. Check out my Patreon link in the description. If you like what I'm doing, you know my whole spiel on that. Come help support the channel, okay? Tons of extra content on there. That's it. I'll see y'all in the next one.